going on, guys? Soto and Evan here from Thick Garage. Welcome back to the channel.
This past Saturday we did an install video of the AFE intake.
So before we installed the new intake, we ran BimmerLink and Dragy Performance Meter with the stock and the Motorsports intake on there as well.
So today we're going to run some tests on the AFE intake using BimmerLink and the Dragy Performance Meter.
And then do a side-by-side comparison versus the stock, the Motorsports, and the AFE intake and see which one performs the best. Evan, you ready?
Let's do it.
Let's go. So we just got back. We didn't want to bore you with all the test runs we did. We ran 3 tests on each setup that we have. I wasn't surprised with the numbers. I was kind of figuring this is what we would get. But let me show you what I'm talking about. All right, so the stock intake first. Now these are all peak numbers all the way across, and they are consistent between all 3 runs. For boost pressure on the stock, we have 29.67, and then the intake air temperature of 102. Then down below you have your air mass numbers as well. Motorsports numbers, you can see that the boost pressure dropped a bit, not much, but the temperature did increase to 122 degrees from 102 compared to the stock intake.
This intake is still using the stock unit, but without the stock filter and the cover that goes over top. So it is open and pulling in some cold air, but hot air as well coming from the engine bay. Although the numbers weren't great, it sounds great, and we did notice it amplified the blow-off valve. And if you're new, keep in mind that we do have a vent to atmosphere blow-off valve. We do not have the diverter on the car.
Now with Dragy, here's a performance report. We ran a 5.55 second. That's the best we got with doing 3 runs, 0 to 60. And then you see the slope, that green line across, there's a little bit of a grade there. But I wanted to point out the top, the density altitude, where it says DA, you see 2636. Now, if you don't know what density altitude is, it basically has to do with the weather and how it affects the performance. I have more of an in-depth explanation in the description below of what density altitude is. So now to the AFE, you'll see the boost pressure PSI jumped a little bit, not much, but the temperature did drop 10 degrees compared to the Motorsport one. But you'll notice the air mass did perform better than both the stock and the Motorsports. Now real quick, I wanted to also throw AFE's dyno results that they have posted on their website for this intake on the 535. They're claiming 30 horsepower gains and 60 pounds of torque gains, which we haven't been able to confirm yet. So I just want to throw it up there so you guys can take a look at that as well.
And like the Motorsports intake, the AFE intake also amplifies the blow-off valve noise.
Now over to the Dragy performance report, we did run a 5.40 second 0 to 60. The grade is a 0.12%. which is almost a flat line. That's perfect. And as far as the density altitude, it's not much different from the run that we did with the Motorsports. It's 2991 on this run, and the density altitude on the Motorsports one was 2636. So there's not much difference there. It's not like one run was 2,000 and the other one was 4,000. And that's because we ran it within an hour of each other. So take under consideration that weather does impact your performance readings, and that all has to do with that density altitude. All right, guys, what are your thoughts on these numbers? Drop your comment below. I mean, I was kind of expecting it. I bet you if we drop a K&N filter in the stock intake, I bet you would perform the same, if not better, than the AFE.
I think it would.
So was it worth $500?
Depends.
I mean, it looks good.
Yeah, it looks really good.
It looks really good. It's built real strong. Actually, the pipes, the inlets that go into the unit are flimsy, but the actual stock intake, it's not built flimsy. There's a lot of other flimsy plastic parts in the BMW. As far as the intake goes, the housing is pretty sturdy. The AFE is also a thick plastic. It's very sturdy. But is it worth $500?
Make sure to stay tuned. We are planning to go to Florida, so we will be hitting up the Ferrari and Lamborghini dealership. So if you want to see some cool cars, make sure you subscribe and you turn on those post notifications so you'll be the first one to see that video.
Make sure you smash that like button, and we will see you in the next video.